I'm a recruiter and I review your resumes. The resume we have up first is a data engineer resume that has only gotten one interview in 4 months. So there is something wrong with this resume. So I want to let everybody know I do more than tech resumes, but right now tech is in the toilet. So that is most of the resumes that are submitted to me, but I do like accountants and HR and blue collar work as well. So what we need for a data engineer is Python, ETL, ELT, SQL, Cloud, Data X, so data models, data lakes, etc. Snow, anything involving Snow, Snowflake, Snowpipe, Snowsite. The ability to manage and communicate technical plans to non-technical people and meet multiple deadlines, along with DevOps, Big Data, Kafka, Spark, Hadoop, data visualization tools, Power BI, Tableau, and SDLC, etc. So the industry is going to change, like if you're an SaaS or if you're an SDLC, it's going to change. And then the bonus for MS Office and AIML. So I'm expecting this resume to be bad because they've only gotten one interview in 4 months. And how you can tell how good your resume is how many applications it takes to get an interview. Your goal should be a minimum of 50 applications to get one interview. Minimum. When people follow my method, they get one interview per 7 applications to one interview to 15. So if you want a 7 to 15 ratio, or 1 to 7 or 1 to 15 ratio, you follow my method. This person has not applied to enough jobs to fully know their method. They've only applied to 40, so you really want to apply to, on average, 50 jobs a week. Not every role is going to have you're going to have the opportunity to do that, but the goal should be around 50 jobs per week. So let's see why this resume does not work and what does work about it to at least get a single interview. So 20 seconds is on the clock. That is the only amount of time that recruiters have to review your resume. If the recruiter takes longer than that, it's a recruiter that does not have a job. So 20 seconds and go. This summary doesn't matter. Built a production Databricks Lakehouse. Okay. Platform to ground up on Azure. Good. You're designing. Okay. Developing PySpark. Nope. Oh, people are going to yell at me for that one. CID pipelines. No. That could be industry. And then this doesn't matter. GitHub could be nice. And Letta Migracy. And time. So this resume is dense. This is way too dense, and this resume has a lot of hot dogs and not a lot of hamburgers. So I want you to imagine that you are hungry, and you go to a restaurant or a fast food place, and you're like, I would like a cheeseburger with pickles and onions. And they say, cheeseburger, pickles, onions. You say, cheeseburger, pickles, and onions. And the waiter will slightly judge you based on that choice, but whatever, I like that as well, so I won't judge you for that food choice. And then they come back, and they bring you a hot dog with cheese, pickles, and onions. And you go, hey, excuse me, there's been a mix-up. I wanted a hamburger with cheese, pickles, and onions. You gave me a hot dog with cheese, pickles, and onions. And they say, no mix-up. This is what you wanted. A hot dog has meat just like a hamburger. A hot dog has buns just like a hamburger. A hot dog can't have cheese, pickles, and onions just like a hamburger. So when you said you wanted a hamburger, what you really meant was a hot dog. And you would look at them like they were crazy, and you would not pay, and you would walk away. And that is the big problem that this resume has, is it is filled with hot dogs. What is a designing a bronze, silver, gold schemas? Is that relevant? No, I don't think I've ever seen a single job description ask for that. Is DBX and YAML useful? No, maybe in the actual job, but not in the resume. So that is a hot dog. PySpark, AI a little bit, kind of, but again, I want Python, not PySpark. Yes, I know what the Pi stands for, and no, it doesn't matter. Led the migration of legacy systems, including SAP, Oracle, and OBIF, and Sybil to a cloud-based Azure is like, this one is kind of okay. I don't care about the hours. This doesn't matter. But like, maybe this is niche enough that they would like to see it. Like, but the rest of this isn't. Like, maybe it's industry experience, but I don't actually think it is. This is mostly a hot dog. And then model schemas, again, hot dogs, built Oracle. Again, you already mentioned Oracle up above. You don't need to mention it again here. SQL Server. Is that the first time you've mentioned SQL? Yes. Okay, that's good. PostgreSQL. You don't need to mention both. You only need to mention it once. Data environments, managing database objects. Again, the rest of this is a hot dog. So you don't show me what I'm looking for. Where's the Python? Where's the ETL or the ELT? Where is... Actually, I think... Did you have cloud? I thought I saw Azure here somewhere, but I don't actually. There it is, Azure. All right, Azure I did see, so Azure is good. Where's Snow? Where's the ability to manage and communicate data plans to non-technical people? That is critical. The fact is, your job is going to be explaining to people what a data lake is to somebody that can't turn on their computer, and that's going to be your job, and you need to show that to me in your resume. Where's the meet multiple deadlines? Where's the DevOps? Where's the big data? Where's the data visualization? I don't know. You might have had some industry stuff which is fine. I mean, I'm not going to be able to fully pick out all the industry stuff, but the rest of this is just filled to the brim with hot dogs. And the worst part is you have the core of a good resume here, but I need more. I cannot move you forward if you have hot dogs. Also, the only reason you would ever want a professional summary is if you are relocating, switching industries, and I mean going from like a fry cook to from a like mechanical engineer to a fry cook. Then they would want to know why you're switching, or you're explaining a visa, but you don't have any of those. In addition to that, where are you located? Normally, I understand people don't want to show me through the stream because like they don't want to dox themselves. That's perfectly fine. But you need to show where you're located, because if you have to relocate, it's a red flag. They're not going to move you forward if you have to relocate. So this is part of your problem. Also, your formatting is bad. This is how it should look. Excuse me. This is what how you do it. The link to that is in the description below. Along with all the other things that I have to help job seekers. You should really check out the description below. So yeah, your problem is your resume is too dense. It has too many hot dogs. You don't have enough hamburgers. And it is just very difficult to read. And that's why you're struggling, and you don't show your location. Obviously, the location doesn't... No, even for remote roles, it matters because they want to make sure you're in the United States, typically. So I'm going to need you to go back to the drawing board. I'm going to need you to delete most of these, and I'm going to need you to create bullet points with this stuff, because this is what matters. If it's not this, it's a hot dog, and no one's going to hire you for hot dogs. They only hire for hamburgers. So... that is all I could do for this data engineer. I just want to say thank you all for watching, liking, commenting, subscribing, and sending it to your friends and family. I really appreciate it. And if you ever need more help, you can join my live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST on twitch.tv/headlessheadhunter and on YouTube right here. And to my members who get access to videos a little bit early, thank you very much for supporting my channel. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. And if anybody wants to join and be a member, get access to videos just a little bit early, you can join so in the description below. But let's go to the next resume. This is a business analyst intern. What we need for a business analyst intern is degree. You need to show you're still in college or whatever. Basic knowledge of the following: SQL, Snowflake, Python, Tableau, Power BI. You may not need all of those. That is going to be more tech related. If you're not going for tech, then you don't really need that as much. I still think you should. Actually, no, I'm going to correct that. You do need Tableau. But what you do need for sure is the ability to communicate and influence people. Microsoft Office, including Windows and Word, and advanced Excel, meeting deadlines, organizational skills, the ability to work well with others, and take direction and criticism. Those are critical. So again, this part is mostly tech right here, but if the rest of it is what I need, and I need all of that. Normally I need 75% to move you forward, but interns need all of this to move forward. You don't need all of the basic knowledge, but you do need all of the, you need the degree, you need the communicate, you need the directions with others, that kind of stuff. So let's see what is good and bad with this resume. I applied to 400 plus applications with 5 different resumes. Got roasted last time and made a lot of changes. I feel like this would have been better bullets if they were 2-liners, but I'm not sure if that's bad from what I've heard. As long as your bullet points should be a... So I even show it here. Bullet points need to be a maximum of 3 lines. No longer than 3 lines, but you can make them 3 lines. If you need to. Not every bullet point needs to be 3 lines, but if you need it to be 3 lines, it can be 3 lines. Applied to 75 plus with this new resume and gotten back 25 emails, all rejections. Well, I can even tell at a glance, this is nothing of my advice. So I'm very certain you did not follow my advice by looking at this even out of the corner of my eye. So 20 seconds is on the clock. Let's see what I can find and what I can't find, and go. Okay, this... so hard to read. This should be way different. Okay. Built Tableau and Excel-based deck to show owner cost and efficiencies. Okay, too technical. This part is good. Built, analyze demographic, design spinning wheel. What? Created a step-by-step employee training guide. Okay. What? But that's not really... okay, time. This is not what I suggested at all. This is like the LaCroix of my suggestions. Is I had you had my suggestions in the other room when you did this, which I actually really like LaCroix, but still, I also like making fun of LaCroix. So, problem with this is formatting is atrocious, bro. You need it to look like this, okay? This is what it needs to look like. This is easy to read. I don't know what this is. Like, there's so much bolding and it's such a nightmare. So this one line... Coursework doesn't matter. GPA does, so you should keep your GPA. A lot of people like to see it. You don't have to say 3.68 out of 4.0. It's assumed that it's 4.0. So, again, I don't know why you did this. You overcorrected. So, it should be one line of this. And then the next line, which should not have any bolding, should say MLT Consulting Fellow, Andre Rich Scholarship, John, whatever that is. So, again, you should only have 2 lines here. This for your education, this for the awards, and whatever it is. You can put your GPA right here. All right? Then we go down to here, and again, this is a nightmare to read, bro. Built Tableau and Excel-based deck to show owner cost efficiency and high-yield treatments. I mean, that part is not terrible, but also it's not great. Like, this is really hard to explain, but... It's not that I care that you built them. It's that I care that you convinced them. And I don't really see that. I'd rather you say, what is it? Convinced the hiring man, convinced whoever it was, the owner of a dentist office, to... yeah, that's the problem. You didn't convince. I need to see that you convinced them. So, like, convince them to follow my plan of... X and Y by using Tableau and Excel decks to show cost inefficiencies. And then analyze patient demographics, design spinning wheel referral program, and personalized welcome. What is this? And remember, the reason and result should not be a number. You do not want to put the reason and result as a number unless you're in sales or a manager. They need numbers. Everybody else doesn't. So this is completely incomprehensible. Why do I care that you have a spinning wheel? What is a spinning wheel? I don't know. You didn't tell me. Created a step-by-step employee training guide with owner through weekly feedback sessions. Okay, cool. I don't care about reducing training time. And the problem with this is this isn't really meeting deadlines. This isn't real. Like, why would you need to do this? Why was the training times an issue? I don't know. You didn't tell me. Developed cost and error rate reduction Tableau and product to close deal with robotic startup. What does that mean? Did it work? Was that an actual thing? Why are you a co-founder and chief officer? I don't know. What do you? So you closed a deal, but also, like, this is why I'm saying you don't give any context for any of this. You just say, I closed a $250 million deal, but you didn't close a $250 million deal. You closed a deal with a startup that was worth $250 million. They could have just given you $5 and said, go your way for a coffee. You could have given them a coffee for $5, and that would be the equivalent of what you wrote. I don't know. Secured $550K in funding offers. Okay. After identifying job automation trends and evaluating product demands. Again, the discovery call, stop with all the numbers. This is the only acceptable number I think you have in your resumes, this 550K, because at least it gives us more context for this. But this is completely incomprehensible to anybody reading this. I understand you're competent. I understand you're a high achiever. You cannot write this. And part of your job as a business analyst is to explain complex topics in simple terms. And you have objectively and subjectively failed by making the resume like this. Your resume is incomprehensible to the layman. And if your resume is incomprehensible to the layman, and part of the job of a business analyst is to be comprehensible to a layman, you have already shown that you are not qualified for these roles. So I'm going to need you to take this resume and delete it. All of it. All right? And then I'm going to need you to make it look like this. And I'm going to need you to make it in simple, basic terms so that the people that are reading this, who are your clients, who you need to explain complex topics to, have it in simple ways, because this is not what I told you to do. You added Excel. That was it. This is an incomprehensible mess that nobody understands what you're going for. Why would they hire a co-founder to be an intern? I don't know. You have a founding head of growth strategy. Why would you hire that person to be an intern? You wouldn't. You're trying to prove you're good, and that's why you're failing. You can't prove you're good through a resume. Next resume. This is a resume of a full stack software developer, which I think is the most common resume that I get, that and data analyst. So what I need for a full stack software developer is degree, TypeScript, JavaScript, CSS, HTML. Yes, you need it. Yes, you absolutely need to put it in. I don't care how basic and boring it is. The point is to have your resume basic and boring. That is what gets people jobs. The Japanese saying, the nail that stands out gets hammered in, or something. That's kind of true for resumes, is your resume actually needs to blend in, not out. You stand out in the interview. That is where you stand out. React, React.js, Node, Angular, Next.js, SQL, NoSQL, RESTful API or REST API, Cloud, CI/CD, Git, .NET or Python or Java, and bonus points for all that other good stuff. So 20 seconds is on the clock. They did not tell me how good or bad their resume is, so I do not know. So yeah, let's find out if they actually have a good resume or not. And go. Okay, certs. All right, built an e-commerce storefront using TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML, CSS, React, GraphQL for looking closely, moving their sales off eBay to the storefront. Good. Develop a RESTful API using Node and SQL for custom PC build company to streamline incoming build requests. Send email replacing their Google Sheets. Okay. Use Git, Docker, CAD, deploy AWS. Not bad. Let's see what we have. So I will say, certs and associates are going to be tougher to sell to people. That doesn't mean you're not going to be able to get a job, but it will mean that your odds are less than other people. So you may never get a 1 in 7, unfortunately. But you could at least get a 1 in 30 to a 1 in 50. It's just that people very much value CS degrees. So, and that's also like, because it's a cert from UCLA, so I'm kind of confused about that. But anyway, the next part is let's make sure you did it right. There should not be this big gap between there. And then built an e-commerce storefront using all that good stuff. Awesome. React. Good. GraphQL is... See, my problem is GraphQL is extra credit. But you don't want to have extra credit in the beginning. You want to have it at the end. So I would not recommend putting GraphQL there. I'd recommend putting it down here. Then developed RESTful APIs. Good. Let's see. Using Node.js. Good. Angular, SQL. Good. And that's it. So I would like developed NoSQL for custom PC company, incoming build requests and send emails replacing their Google Sheets workflow. That's okay. I just want a little bit more here. Like, mainly because these are each projects really or freelance, not necessarily like, full-time roles. But developed a RESTful API using Node.js. I'd rather you say built a... What is this? See, like, here's my problem. I don't know what do you mean replace their Google Sheets workflow? I would say built a X using RESTful APIs, Node, SQL to support, to replace their Google Sheets workflow for this company. And then down here, which is Git and Docker, it's good. But like AWS is critical. Sorry, any cloud is good. You really, really want cloud. I would recommend, if anything, putting this as the second bullet point, and you really don't want to bury the lead on the cloud. The cloud should not be over here in the corner. The cloud should be like here or right here, because it's really important. So otherwise, that's good. And I'm using JavaScript, React, and SSS. Good. So yeah, I mean, the big thing is this is not bad. I just want a little bit more detail here. And I believe that you should put this one up here. And then give me a teeny bit, both more and less information for the second bullet point. But otherwise, this is good. It's just, you're not self-taught, but there's only a limited amount of jobs that will move forward without a CS degree. So I don't think you're going to get a 1 in 7, but with this, you should hopefully at least get a 1 in 40 to a 1 in 50 once you fix those things. So next, resume. This is a resume of another full stack dev. I told y'all it's the most common resume that gets submitted. This person says, I am a student, just recently started my job hunt, no interviews yet, looking for advice on what to add to boost my resume. All right. So let's see. We already know what we need up here. Let's look. 20 seconds on the clock. Also, I want to make sure you are applying to full-time roles, because what you want for an internship is going to change based on what you want for a full-time role. So 20 seconds on the clock. Let's see what we have and what we don't, and go. Okay. No. Where's education? Ongoing. Oh, so you want an internship. Okay, you're not looking for... Okay, hold on. This is not a full stack developer. Ooh, sorry. This is a software engineer intern. This is what you're looking for. You're not looking for full-time roles because you're still in college. If you graduated, I would be like, okay, but otherwise, yeah, this is an intern. I'm expecting this person to be an intern, because you're not going to do it if you're still in college. They're not going to have it. So for an intern, this is what we need. And honestly, the stack is not as important. You can do this for like back end, so intern. So degree, basic knowledge of the tech stack. So language, library, SQL, cloud. Let's see. The ability to work well with others, and you can take direction and criticism. So those are the ones that we want for an intern. And first things first, I need you to put your education up at the top. This is a qualification. There is a reason it goes up here. Second, skill sections don't matter. I know everybody loves their skill sections. I'm sorry, y'all. They don't matter. They really, really, really don't. If you really, really, really want to include it, put it at the very bottom of your resume where nobody will see it, and it's not going to matter, which is what it's not going to matter anyway, so do not have this. Then we go to projects, and built a Chrome extension using JavaScript, Node.js, and SQLite. Good. To detect and flag likely bot comments on YouTube, and used Python. See, this is actually good. I'd actually prefer you to break this up into 2 bullet points, but otherwise this is good. And again, don't put the link to your projects here. Put them here. They're already here. Put them there. Second, let's see. There we go. Build a custom JavaScript. So my main issue with this is I need more things for an intern. So what I need for an intern is I need you to show me how you took direction and criticism and how you worked well together with others. If you do not show me those two, I cannot move forward with you. And those are critical. I understand it's basic, but that's the whole point of a resume. But we need to see that you can work well with the others, because this could be this person's first job, and I'm not picking on them, but let's say they go to the job and they say, yeah, I built a YouTube extension, and the manager's like, yeah, it's bad, change X and Y, and then they'll freak out and flip the table. They don't want that. They want to see that you would take direction and criticism. And how you would write that would just be as simple as met weekly with the hiring manager where we went over my code so that I could change it for the next week. Or, something that shows you can talk to other people. So I want to be clear. There are 2 of these, okay? 2. There's working well with others, which is separate from taking direction and criticism. So you need to show me, can you do customer service maybe? Can you work in a corporate environment? Can you teach kids? Because if you can teach kids, that shows you have a lot of patience. Kids are crazy. I was a substitute teacher for a bit, and even that was insane. And then, can you take direction and criticism, which again is just like met weekly with the manager where they went over my code to fix it, where I fixed it for prior to our next meeting. So that is what I need, and I need you to follow this formatting, because right now this is very hard to read. Even though there's so little of it, it's already hard to read, which is not a good sign. So education goes up here, and then make the resume look like this. Next resume. This is a resume of a data analyst. So what we need for a data analyst is degree, industry, SQL, data visualization, Tableau, Power BI, Looker, influencing stakeholders, explaining technical concepts to non-technical stakeholders. Honestly, that can be anybody. It could be customers, could be anybody else. I just need to see that you can explain complex topics to non-technical people. How you solved a problem with data, not what the data is, MS Excel, macros, pivot tables, VLOOKUP, Word, ETL, Python, R, multiple projects and deadlines, and nice to have is AI and cloud. So we do not know this person's ratio. This is their second version, I think. They said made the edits you wanted, 3 keywords, better formatting. So let's see if they actually did that or not. Because sometimes people say they do and they don't actually do it. So 20 seconds on the clock. And go. Okay. BS good. Formatting's a little off. Use Python Excel to extract student performance data from CalJobs, presenting insights via PowerPoint to non-technical stakeholders to support compliance. Ooh, perfection. I love that. Use SQL, Excel, and Tableau to query and visualize contract compliance performance data across multiple reporting workflows, delivering monthly reports. That is slightly too technical. Built Excel reports by extracting data sheets from internal systems and transforming them into formulas. So, first sentence, I actually don't think I would change anything. I think it's fantastic. There's some slight formatting errors, very minor, right? Very, very minor. There should not be this big of a gap here, right? There should not be this big of a gap here. Those are very minor formatting issues, but I did want to let you know that so you fix it. The first sentence is, I actually don't think there's anything I would really change. Except maybe, no. Presenting insights via PowerPoint to non-technical stakeholders support compliance. So my only thing is, I wonder if we can show how you use this to, I'd like a slightly, my mouse is dancing. Wow, not touching it, it's moving. That's not a good sign. I want a slightly better explanation of the reason, the result for this. I think this is a fantastic how. But used Python Excel to extract performance data. I don't know if student matters. I think you could just say performance data from CalJobs. That's fine. Presenting the insights via PowerPoint to non-technical stakeholders to support compliance with government funding requirements. And then I would like a little bit more that says, like, why did it matter that you did that? Doesn't have to be much. It could just be like, to ensure we were compliant with all laws and regulations or something, right? I just need a little bit more. Use SQL, Excel, and Tableau. If you can, put advanced, right? This is where I want you to put like parentheses, macros, pivot tables, VLOOKUP, and queries to visualize, contract compliance performance data across multiple reporting workflows, delivering monthly reports, supported analysis, and tracking. Again, I want to know a little bit more about this. I don't think you need all of this to show this. I think the how is good. I need a little bit more why. So it's not bad, right? And then built Excel. You already mentioned Excel earlier, so you don't need to double it up. Because remember, you don't want to, once you mention it once in the same job, you don't want to double it up. So you may want to just use Python, Excel, and then VLOOKUP, pivot tables, etc. to do blah, 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 blah. And then here, remove Excel, keep Tableau, and then give me a slightly better thing of multiple projects and deadlines. And a little bit more of the business reason why. Again, it's not bad. I'm being extra picky because this is their like second or third time. And then you already mentioned Excel up top. I prefer you mention it over there. And then I need this to be a better bullet point. I need the third sentence to be a bit of a better bullet point. But again, I'm going to say your first sentence is fantastic and alone might get you a role. And then used SQL, again, there should not be this big of a gap. Use SQL, Excel, Power BI, perfect, to visualize performance for identifying stakeholders. That's fantastic. I love that sentence. Built Python scripts and Excel. Again, you already mentioned Excel earlier. This good, this bad. Okay, don't double it up in the same job, but it is good at multi-molecule to extract multi-platform data, delivering executive presentation performance trends. Again, I like this, but I don't want you to say under strict deadlines, right? I want you to say that allowed you to make the deadlines, right? Under strict deadlines is not a good one. Allowing you to meet all deadlines is. So, is this an awful resume? No, not at all. I think this is good enough to get a bunch of jobs, but I'm trying to make it go from like a 1 in 50 to a 1 in 7, and I'm being extra picky because this is their second or third time. So, overall, good job. But that's all I can do for this resume. And I just wanted to thank you all for watching, commenting, liking, subscribing, sharing it with your friends and family. I really appreciate it. And if you ever need more help, you can join my live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST on both YouTube and twitch.tv/headlessheadhunter. And to all of my members who get access to videos a little bit early, thank you for supporting me. I really appreciate it. If somebody else wants to be a member, thank you so much. You can join in the link below. But that is it for this video, and I'm here to help you get ahead of your job search, and I'll see you in the next one. Later.